Welcome to part 1 of an online recording of our workshop on providing professional development through Google Hangouts. This session will cover part 1, talking about the benefits of Google Hangouts for teacher professional development. The intended outcomes of this workshop on using Google Hangouts to facilitate teacher professional development are: the participants will recall the technical best practices which contribute to high-quality video instruction, that they will identify the key features of Google Hangouts which can be used to instruct online, and that they'll identify the mobility and openness opportunities offered through instructing with Google Hangouts. It's quite possible that in the past you may have experienced video conferences that look something like this.
Conference is a great way for us to be able to interact. It's two-way live video and audio. I mean, that's way better than just a phone call or a conference call.
Or perhaps even this.
So what we're going to do is we're going to definitely move along and talk about a few different types of learning that can occur through video conference, and I'm hoping that you'll all take part in this conversation.
I hope that as you consider your past experiences, you keep them in mind as we work through this workshop, as past experiences can color or affect our perspectives on new tools. As Simon Sinek shares in his book, Start With Why, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do what you do. That's why this workshop will begin with a review of some of the research that leads us to believe that Google Hangouts could be an excellent tool to facilitate teacher professional development. There are a number of pros and cons to using video conference tools such as Google Hangouts for professional development. On the pro side, we have flexibility in time and space. Teachers are able to get together who otherwise wouldn't be able to. Reduces the costs of travel for those people who might live far away from the location professional development usually occurs, and most of these events can be recorded and shared easily for those who miss or to extend the learning beyond the date and time of the event. However, on the con side, there are some basic technology skills that are required. Not all of the traditional PD activities teachers are used to can be used, and there is no real face-to-face contact. However, they are able to see and hear each other through two-way live video communication. Online teacher development through tools such as Google Hangouts is nothing new. Research indicates that it is an effective way of learning, with researchers such as Browns and Woods, Erickson, and Kleiman all finding that face-to-face learning and online learning can have equal results. Alberta Education, in its Learning and Technology Policy Framework, has gone as far as to state that teachers should be taking part in technology-enhanced professional development activities. The concept of mobility, or M-learning, speaks to the fact that learning now is being enabled by the personal mobile technologies that are becoming ubiquitous in our day-to-day lives. Teachers from many locations are able to connect to learning that they weren't able to do before from more places than ever. In one study by Mike Sharples on mobility and lifelong learning, he found that mobile devices have a number of attributes that make them well suited to learning. They're highly portable, individual to the user, unobtrusive, easily available, adaptable to a number of learning situations. They're persistent in that everyone has them with them all the time. They're useful and intuitive, lowering the technological barriers for users. Google Hangouts enhances the learning through mobility even farther by providing an interface that works on most every device: cell phones, desktops, laptops, Mac, PC, or even a Chrome device. Teachers are able to access learning where and when they are on the technology available to them. This removes a number of barriers for learning. Through using mobile technologies along with Google Hangouts, there are a number of other advantages. There's less time lost traveling for PD for both facilitators and learners. Fewer absent participants as they can take part wherever and whenever they find themselves when the session is being run. And way more flexibility for managing busy home schedules. All things that teachers have indicated are key concerns when it comes to professional development. Now that we've learned about a number of benefits of Google Hangouts and how they enhance the mobility of learning, let's look at a scenario. John, a music consultant, needs to have a quick meeting with the 8 music teachers in his district about a major change to concert seating limits in gyms. Most of these concerts will happen within the week. Take a moment and consider how Google Hangouts might help John. During our live Hangouts, participants discussed a number of benefits they identified for John related to mobility. Google Hangouts would allow the participants to take part wherever and wherever they are, making sure they could all attend. They could also use any technology they needed, whether it's their computer at school, PC at home, or phone at the local hockey rink. They could take part wherever they are. A second key aspect of Google Hangouts, which lends itself to teacher professional development, is increasing openness in education. Open education really speaks to opening up the resources, materials, and experiences that we create for teachers beyond the borders of our schools, districts, or even province. Some examples of openness in education include the development of open educational resources, massive open online courses, and open universities offering courses to anyone, anywhere, at any time. Hangouts do have one distinct feature that clearly expands the openness of their sessions. And that's the fact that live Hangouts can be streamed directly to YouTube and saved there. This means that any number of learners in the future can access that resource. The learners can review it, share it, remix it, and reuse it as it sees fit. As Weller speaks in his research, creating open educational resources, such as these Hangout session videos, for example, increases the creativity of the people building the sessions. This is a fringe benefit to the facilitator. However, it does open the door for others to remix those materials if they're shared openly, increasing the creativity of all parties. As Aline Samaka noticed, that many barriers to learning for all groups of people, from those in other countries who maybe don't have access to high quality learning, or even to those of us here in this country who just don't even know what we're missing because we can't get to everything. By providing open educational resources such as these videos, education for all is a real possibility in the world of teacher professional development. In addition to the access and learning benefits that Google Hangouts brings in the openness area, there are some other benefits to openness in creating these PD sessions. There's an equity of access to learning resources. By sharing and creating openly with other districts and other groups, we are able to have a higher quality education for all of our teachers. We can build partnerships to divide the work between different groups. Sharing makes everything a little bit easier and brings in a number of different perspectives. Finally, by sharing and asking for remixing or allowing remixing, we get improvement of our resources that were unintended, and we may see benefits to everyone. As we've discussed, Google Hangouts offers a number of things which enhance the openness of learning. Let's look at a scenario. Sally, a math consultant, receives dozens of requests over the school year to visit schools and talk to principals about math assessment under the new assessment policy. Each principal she talks to feels that the policy is just not clear about math, and they want further clarification from Sally. How could Google Hangouts help Sally do her job? Participants in our live Hangout had a lot of things to say. Most of them noted that Sally, by recording her Hangout once, could share that Hangout with every principal in the district, meaning that they could watch the video first to see if she had already answered their questions. 2, by publishing this publicly along with the policy from the district, it would be clear that what this policy meant, increasing the openness of learning for all members, not just principals, but parents and other community members. Thanks for taking part in this first section of our workshop on using Google Hangouts to facilitate teacher professional development. We'll be moving on in parts 2 and 3 of this workshop to cover how you can use Google Hangout and its tools to effectively provide teacher professional development, and what best practices you can use to ensure good facilitation in your sessions. Thanks again for taking a look at this introduction to our workshop on providing professional development through Google Hangouts. I hope you found it valuable, and I look forward to seeing you in parts 2 and 3.